Alright, so what's the lesson for today is religious instructions of the Negro. Alright, now, signs and symbols rule the world, not phases and laws. The cross, right? Religious instruction of the Negro is not biblical teachings, but more so an objective to indoctrinate, right? That's why in is inside the word instructions. Also, the word struct is inside instructions. Instruct extends to the word structure. A structure means to inform. Federal informants, J. Edgar Hoover of the FBI. Vowels are interchangeable. So you can see Ja. Don't inform Yahweh's people. So when you instruct, you do what? You set order, but you do it authoritatively, right? If you look at the word authoritatively, you can see, you add the F, you can see Father. And the Father is the Papa, Godfather. This is your religion. Inside the word order, you can see Rod. And that extends to the first ruler, which is Nimrod. Nimrod was the first ruler. His symbol was an X written on his garments in Babylon in the days of Nimrod was the first ruler related to the Watchers who came down. They wronged mankind. They had mutual implications to wrong mankind and defy God. Nimrod was the first ruler used as a tool by Satan. Nimrod started evil. That's why X is used for witchcraft, sex, drugs, XXX, porn. Nimrod is subconsciously put into the minds of the children at an early age through Looney Tunes. Why? Because Elmer, right? Elmer Fudd chased the bunny, the silly rabbit, and Bugs Bunny would call him a Nimrod. Poor little Nimrod, because he was always on the hunt. Nimrod used to hunt. When you kill, you do it to torture. But when you hunt, you do it to feast. So Nimrod was feasting on the Caucasian Pale Shemites. This is where the racial tension comes from, ancient times. Anyways, look up Genesis 10:8 and read about Nimrod. Now, the rod is used for correction. They started where? In the schools. Remember the paddle? The paddle was the rod, but it's called the board of corrections. Everything is about corrections, right? You're on the prison planet. You're always under corrections. Prisons are called corrections. Attorneys, right? The movie Devil Advocate, the devil, his job was an attorney. An attorney, they have to go before the board of corrections. The board, if you look at the word, you can still see rod. That's where you discipline. Like the Bible says, spare the rod, spoil the child. In the 1500s, they used to use a Bible verse on these paddles where they would discipline the children. Proverbs 22. Go look up Proverbs 22. You'll see it says, foolishness is in the ways of a child, but the rod steers them clear. Remember, the rod is what? The tool for the pharaohs. Look up Psalms. Was it 23? Thy rod and thy staff comfort me. Pharaoh's got the rod. Jesus have the rod. The rod is used to steer sheep from green pastures and clean water. This whole plan is where they build structure. Anytime you build in structure, you instruct, right? Religiously instruct the Negroes. Vowels are interchangeable. What do I mean? Remember Wheel of Fortune? They'd always take RSTLNE, right? Wheel of Fortune, RSTLNE, and vowels AIOU, sometimes the Y. What do I mean? If you look at words, linguistics, vowels are interchangeable. You take two words, they enunciate the same, but look at the vowels. Colonel is the same as colonel. So, struct is inside of the word instruct. You take away the S, put the D, replace the U with the I, bring that down. You look, you can see direct, right? Because that's what you do when you instruct. You direct. You give instructions religiously to Negroes because when you instruct, you have an objective at the end. Now, but the first instructors religiously, you know what they were called? They were called doctors, right? The first teachers were masters. A religious teacher means a doctor. Look it up. But when you doctor something up, it's not good. It's actually worse because you doctor up the law. You doctor up the law like Luke 10:25. When they doctored up the law, they tried to set up Jesus. Then you go to school. There's the N again. Inquisition, indoctrinate. Instructions, religious instructions for Negroes. Said that families, the parents of slave childs, could not and did not have the mental capacity to build a family. The religious instruction of the Negroes. There's a document, if you read from, it's what you call engineering. And I want you to understand something. Let's take a piece from this. The plantation is considered one large family, right? Why is a plantation being discussed in religious instructions? Because this is what you call engineering. Engineer means to fix. Social means human behavior. Social engineering means to fix, or in other words, to create human behavior. Now, carrying on. Carrying on. Religious instructions of Negroes. Religious teachers are doctors. They indoctrinate. They doctor things up. Pharmacy in Greek means to concoct up a potion, a spell. But the first Negroes were called niggers. Excuse the word. Niggers in the Bible is Acts 13:1. Look it up. Niggers, Barnabas and Simeon were teachers. Niggers not in terms of slave chattel property, but master teacher. Right? So now you understand what? The verse from Ephesians 6:5 that says what? Slaves obey their masters. No, that doesn't mean be a willing servant. That means obey your teacher. Because nigger in Greek means teacher. Right? Nigger in Greek means teacher. Nigger, a Christian, dark in color. The Greek lexicon. So the world is like a matrix because everything is taught to you in reverse. And so look at Acts 13. Look at this verse, Acts 13. You'll see it tells you. Nigger means teacher. But the 13 is always an enigma, right? Why? Because the 3 is what? The 3 is to the goddamn left. Left hand of the devil, being left in the dark, being left for dead. But the right, which is good, right? is the E. And the E is what? El. The Elohim. The gods that created it all. Right? The right is good. You split a pole, don't split a pole to the left, split it to the right. Salute with your right, get your diploma with your right, shake with your right, be in the right hand, you salute, pledge to allegiance, but the left is always bad. Remember? Look up the verse. It's Matthew 25:41. God sent everybody on the left, prepared their ass for hell. And so the 13th is always bad, right? Because that's when they do the ritual murders, right? With Jason, Friday, that's on the 13th. They set up who? The righteous one with the P to the right. They set up Tupac. What? Set him up on the 13th. He was murdered September 13th. The same thing goes for what? The Pope, John Paul. He was set up. He was crossed out on the 13th. John Paul, the Pope Paul, the good Pope who tried to fix everything up. The P is to the right, like your right hand. It looks like a right hand. P is towards the right. And so anyways, the 13th is always synonymous with some type of death. They murder on the 3rd. Be careful on the 3rd. 3rd degree is when you get interrogated. 3rd degree is the degree of the what? Master Masons.